Hey now, welcome to Fitzdog Radio, your trepidatious host. Trepidatious? There's a word I'm looking for. I was an English major. I should have access to more words than I do. Welcome to the show. I got Ian Bagg on today, who's an old friend and one of the funniest comics I know. Great material, and when it comes to crowd work, I'd put him up there against literally anybody. You got Rick. Why am I spacing Rick's Ingram? Rick Ingram's amazing. That's it. No, there's some other people that are good, but those two guys jump out at me. Anyway, he's on the show. I just got back from San Francisco where I showed up and there was an earthquake. And I'm standing on Sansome Street, and the earthquake goes off. A lot of tourists. Earthquake goes off, and then all these tourists like feel the rumble. It goes on, and then there's a moment, and then they start cheering. They start clapping and yelling and pumping their fists. Like this was why we came to San Francisco. You know, like it's like visiting New Orleans and there's a flood. Or you go to Chicago and you get shot. So luckily the epicenter was up in Humboldt County, which if you know about California, that's where all the weed gets grown. And I just thought it was a very funny image to think of all these potheads not freaking out. It was the calmest epicenter in the history of earthquakes. And there's all these homeless people. And, San Francisco is crazy. I mean, LA's bad, but San Francisco is pretty wild. And there was a guy right outside my hotel who was talking about Jesus every time I came and went. Like, it was nonsense. I mean, I came and went a dozen times, and this guy was talking about, and I was like, all right, if there's any more proof that you need that these religions are insane, here's a guy that believes that there's snakes in his pants, and he believes the FBI has cameras in his eyebrows, and he believes that there's a guy in a robe that flew into the sky that watches everything you do. And there was a boat with animals in it, and a bush talked, and a guy walked on water. Which is crazier? I don't know. But that's your typical Christian. I'm not, look, if you're Christian, I'm not mocking you. I'm just saying it's a little weird. Like, I get the idea of Christianity is interesting because all religion, not all, most religion is about community. It's about helping others. It's about cowering in the face of God, which is really just nature and fate and everything that you should subordinate yourself to so you can have a healthy ego. And religion does that. And you have a sense of shared grace with other people. It's noble. But, why the stuff about the animals and the robe and the fish getting turned into water into wine? Like, why that also? Why can't it be enough that a group of people want to love each other and do good things for the less fortunate and to position themselves in life to believe there's a higher power? I mean, why does there have to be all this craziness mixed in? I was raised with it. I know it all. I believed it all. That's why I get to fucking fly up my ass. Fly up my ass? Is that I really, they got me. They got me in. I believed. And now I just see a lot of these Christians just turning it into hate and judgment and exclusion. Just stop. Go back to the basics. Look at the CEO. I mean, this guy was a big Christian, apparently. How is he a Christian and he allows hundreds of thousands of children that have leukemia, not get the treatment they need in the wheelchairs that they. I'm not saying he should have been shot. Stabbed would have been fine, choked, whatever. I'm not saying this guy should have been shot in the back. Front would have been fine. Whatever. However you want to do it is fine. I was doing a lot of research about these insurance companies because I know my experience is I pay $40,000 a year before another $7,600 in deductions, or what do you call it? Your deductible. $7,600 in deductible, $40,000 in premiums a year for my family, and I get shit coverage. So I'm a little pissed off. I got many flies up my ass today, and I just think at the end of the day, like, the poor people are the ones that don't have the time to challenge. They say that 17% of all claims are denied, in-network claims. So that was in 2021. So they say that poor people way less likely to challenge it because they're working full-time jobs. You got two parents working 2 jobs each, trying to raise kids. They don't have time to get on the phone with the insurance company for what can be 3 or 4 hours on one claim. So they just count on that. And the rich get richer and the poor get poorer and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think this is going to be an isolated incident. I think these CEOs are going to need some serious protection. Oh, that's a stock that probably went up this week. Should have bought some of that shit. You know what you can buy, though, if you don't buy that, is the Sunday Papers t-shirt is now available. Went on sale a couple weeks ago. If you get it this week, by the end of this week, by the 18th, you will have it by Christmas. Go to fitzdog.com. There's about 4 or 5 different colors. You can get one that says "Take it Ish," one that says Sunday Papers, one that says something else. I can't remember, but put in your order, $26 to your house, to a loved one. Get them now. Also, want to give a shout out to Jimmy O. Yang in there's a show called Interior Chinatown, which I highly recommend. And Jimmy, stand-up comic, fucking brings it. Great acting. And also want to give a shout out to Sean Patton, who's in a show called English Teacher, which is excellent as well. It's like an old school sitcom, but made for streaming. So it's very out there. Shit you could never say on broadcast. Really good acting. Great. Sean Patton. Good job. All right, let's get to it. My guest has been on The Tonight Show, The Late Late Show. He was in the movies Cradle of Rock. He's had specials on Comedy Central, HBO, Showtime. We go way back, and today I did the contest. I didn't do it well, but the contest is I ask my guests trivia questions without them realizing in the middle of the conversation that I'm asking them a question that will win them a T-shirt. So Ian Bagg, you'll find out whether or not Ian answered. These were the questions for today. I reused the one the other day. He had to name the original 6 NHL hockey teams. We'll see if he can do that. And then I asked him Tim Robbins movies because we're both friends with Tim, and to see if he could name 4. We'll see if he can do that. If he does either, I'm going to give him a T-shirt. And we're generous with the T-shirts. It's the holiday season. Plus, I probably have extra XXLs, which he is. All right. Here is my guest, Mr. Ian Bagg. Ian Bagg is here today, and he is trying to decide what this podcast should be called. I'm going to give you 3 suggestions.
Fits in.
Fits in. That's good.
I like that one. I just like the show is called. That's
how the show is called.
It's like old-fashioned 1960s news reporter. The show is called.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And we're beginning right now.
Right.
With many questions.
That's like the beginning of Monday Night Football. I'm Joe Buck, and this is Hall of Famer Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
And he started doing that, and now every sports duo does that. I'm so-and-so, and this is Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winner.
I don't think you should lead with that, the Hall of Famer, though.
No, because then
Just be a
Troy looks
man.
like a dick sitting there like, yup,
Pretty good.
yup.
Pretty good. Pretty good at the game. Pretty good at life. I'm a Hall of Famer. I think it's stupid.
Why isn't there a comedy Hall of Fame? Is there? There is a comedy Hall of Fame.
It's in New York.
Jamestown,
near
New York.
Rochester, right? It's near Rochester.
Yeah, it's up by Rochester.
Where they have nothing to do and it's gray all the time.
And I would love to go there, but I
Really?
can't just. Well, I want to go to the Hall of Fame.
Really?
See if my name is up.
Is your name up?
I hope so. I would imagine. I've been doing it for 35 fucking years. You've been doing it for 32.
I know.
Is it 32?
30.
30.
Did you? How I like this. I have people come up to me and I'm glad you never gave up.
It's like, sweetie, I gave up 12 years ago. I'm still taking dates.
I gave up by coming into the business. This is what happened. I'm glad you didn't give up.
Yeah, right.
I didn't mention at all that I was thinking about giving up, so I don't know why you're glad that I didn't, because I had no place to go. I was like an officer and a gentleman.
I got nowhere left to go. No, I think for a lot of people, stand-up is plan B. I love the people that went to law school. Geraldo went to law school, Harvard.
Yeah.
How did his immigrant parents feel about that move?
Anybody that has immigrant parents and they're doing stand-up just must hate going home,
Yes.
because I don't have immigrant parents and I hate going home, so I can't imagine.
Well, you're an immigrant.
Yeah, I forgot.
I mean,
Oh no, does that mean I have to go home again? Like, am I getting kicked out in January?
no, because I think you're a dreamer.
Am I?
Yeah, you don't have you are a type of dreamer,
But I'm white.
but
Right.
you're white.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a dream, not dreamer.
you're dreamy.
You're the kind of immigrant we want here, sir.
No, we don't. Canadians are as lazy as we are. We need Latinos. They fucking hustle. I got a guy in my yard right now who's putting up. We have 4 different gates around our house, and he's
Why so many gates? It's a lot of gates.
it's a big house.
It's a lot of gates.
No, it's because we live on
I know it's a big house.
2 alleys and a street.
Right.
So the fence is gigantic. So you enter 2 gates in the rear,
I remember this gate.
1 on the side and 1 in the front.
It's not too many gates. Do you put a Ring camera at every gate?
Don't have any Ring cameras. We have an old bell that you ring. It's got a ringer in it, like a cowbell. That's our bell.
And do the homeless love it?
They love it. I run out there 3 times a day to see nothing but the back of somebody's head walking away. People can't walk by a bell and not ring it.
Oh, there's going to be snacks.
Ring the bell. Isn't that like a term that women use for play with the clitoris?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, they say ring the bell.
I only know find it.
Find the clitoris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only know that.
Yeah.
Find it, you chimp trying to fucking use a, excuse me, am I allowed to say fuck?
Please, I said clit.
You say clit?
I just said clit.
Oh yeah, if you can say clit, you can say fuck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so many women are getting tattoos on their arms and their
not
lower
here.
back. Get it on the clit.
That's what it says on the arm.
Yeah.
It's not here. Closer.
It should all be arrows. Their whole body should be arrows just pointing at it.
I'd still miss it.
What
It's like
about-
using Waze. You'll just go right by that street.
Yeah, maybe get your phone out.
Yeah. Oh.
But then you got the G-spot, which is really mysterious because even women can't always find their own G-spot.
Yeah.
But if you do, apparently it's like explosive.
Yeah. It's like finding a house you really want to own.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
right. And they want you to move in.
Yeah. They want you to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't fix it up. Enjoy it.
Oh, it doesn't need to be fixed up.
No. You find the G spot. Have you ever found the G spot?
I don't think so. I've found a woman that faked that I found the G-spot.
I think we've all found that woman.
Yeah.
I think I found a woman that faked that I found her clit.
Yeah.
So I think, and her nipples. I'm pretty sure I was just rubbing her shoulder blades a lot. So
I thought I didn't know it was your asshole, to be honest. I thought, but have you ever asked your wife, how long have you been married? About 6 years?
No, 12.
Have you ever asked your wife if she fakes orgasms?
Oh, no.
That's a real conversation.
I know she doesn't because I just see a little machine come out.
Yeah.
Like she's confident. You're done.
Yeah.
It's just embarrassing. It's
you
weird.
mean she turns into an animal?
No, she's like, you're done. Let me finish this.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I see.
And then I'm just an innocent bystander.
Yeah, right. You're a caddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm carrying the case it goes back into. Put one of those socks over top with a tiger's head on it.
You give it a little wipe with a towel.
Yeah.
Head cover on.
It's I don't know if you think about this, but I thought I was pretty good when we were single, so I thought that's how I landed her. I was really good at things.
Yeah.
But now that she's like that, I'm like, was I ever?
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've changed anything. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe I haven't changed anything.
I think that might be a part of it. Like, I know my playbook has not been expanded, and I've thought about, getting the Kama Sutra or an idiot's guide to the clitoris or something and try to throw. But here's the problem with that. You and I go on the road a lot.
Right.
If I suddenly come back and I flip her over and I'm using my left hand, she's going to be like, who taught you this?
Yeah.
Where did this idea come from?
You can't even change colognes on the road.
That's right.
Yeah. There's so much you can't come back. You can't do anything. If you got to come back the exact same way you left.
Yep.
Otherwise.
The bag just as full.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she gives you a blowjob and her cheeks are not puffing out at the end of it.
Uh-huh.
Something's horribly wrong. Yeah. She should look like a chipmunk when you're done.
What did you do? Just a little dribble.
Just a dribble.
Oh, what have you been doing? You, my friend, I've been fucking around on the road.
It's like a mafia guy. You're a little light.
Oh, my God. I heard this story about a comic, and I'm not going to use any names, but there was a comic that had an opener, and the guy that was, like, I guess he was fairly big, the guy. He probably was pretty big. He had an opener that would travel with him.
Yeah.
And the guy had a side piece. And the
headliner did?
Yeah, the headliner had a side piece that would travel with them.
Yeah.
And then the opener ended up sleeping with the side piece, right? And the headliner and the opener got into a big riff about it. And he got fired. And the opener, to get back, told the guy's wife.
No.
Yeah. There's so many levels to that because obviously that side piece really likes comedians. Right?
She's she's what they call a chuckle fucker.
A what?
Chuckle fucker. Those are the comedy groupies.
Okay.
You never heard that?
No. I don't know if I want to tell my wife this. Are our wives considered chuckle fuckers?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Contracted.
Oh, my God.
They have overall deals.
You sign the paper, baby.
Every club has a chuckle fucker. And when you're single, you talk about it. Like, I remember Catch a Rising Star in Princeton, and there was a chuckle fucker there. And
really?
And somebody said to me, I won't say the comic, Kevin Brennan, and he's like, it's Diane. I go, who's Diane? He goes, you're going to Princeton next week, right? I was like, yeah. He goes, it's Diane. I was like, oh, all right.
That's really funny.
And then me and Diane. Just like that.
Chili dog.
Wait, so you were about to say something about the different dynamics of the headliner and the opener. Here's the thing. The opener doesn't have a leg to stand on because he's cheating on his wife.
The headliner.
The headliner, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So 70% of headliners are married, right? I would say 70.
70?
Maybe
I think that's high. I think that's
high.
I think back in the day, maybe. Well, let me just think. No, maybe you're right. I think it's above 60. Yeah, I'm shocked to think about that.
So the most part, it's a opener's world.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And sometimes, like my opener is married, so it's just us just kind of eating eating barbecue, watching the waiters try to screw out people. So it's so. I just remember we talked a little while ago.
Well, wait, can I just cut you off?
Yes, please do.
My opener is kind of a stud, and he hooks up with women. He gets on Tinder, and no matter what we were in Milwaukee, and he had different women at each show. This is not a great, no offense, he's listening right now. Dion, I don't want to say his last name.
Dion Cole opens for him.
That's right. And the women he gets,
it's insane.
It's almost like he has a TV show.
And he's so smart because he uses Old Spice shampoo, so everybody always smells.
But anyway, he's always got women, and they're always good looking. And then one night, he's like, "What room are you in?" And I was like, 714. He's like, "Oh, that's weird. I'm in 814." Cut to me in my bed that night, and goosh. It was crazy. And then they were in the green room the next night, and I was like, "You guys have fun last night?" And they're like, "Yeah, we had fun." I mean, I go around 11:25. Did you guys have fun? And they're like, "You heard us?"
Heard us. I felt it.
And then the next night they did it again, almost like, "Hey, you like that? You like that?"
Oh, poor Fitzsimmons down there with his dick in his hand. Let's make him happy.
No, and I texted him the second night. I go, "At it again," and he just wrote back, "Ha ha ha," and then kept going.
Yeah. And from at that point, he just brought a basketball back to the room to make him seem like he's very impressive.
How did you know he was black?
That's just a guess.
Now, you were saying...
If there's that much thumping going on, I knew that wasn't a white guy bottoming out.
Oh, my God. This guy goes for a long time. It reminded me of the early days. In the early days, I wish I was lying to you, I used to go for 50 minutes, 50.
Really, huh?
Yep. That was my number.
That's very impressive.
I'd look at the clock when I started, and I wouldn't look at it again. And then when I was done, I'd look at the clock and be like,
always 50.
Always 50.
And now you're like, 3 minutes in, you're like, I got shit to get done. I'm going to die at some point. I got to get out of here. I got to do things. That's what I do. I'm like, I got shit to do.
Yeah, I think it's more like my dick going like, hey, we're good.
That's funny.
We're good.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
And this is going deep.
Yeah.
All right.
Circumcised.
Are you?
Of course.
So am I.
Yeah. Of course.
Are all Canadian men circumcised? I mean, not that you've seen every one of them, but most of them you've seen.
Most of them. I remember Walter, the first one I ever seen was grade 1. We're changing, and Walter Almeida, he had the...
Latino guy.
No, Portuguese. And I was just like, something's wrong with Walter.
Yeah.
Something happened to Walter. I remember telling everybody something's bad happened to Walter.
Yeah.
So...
when we started out in New York together, I spent a few years in Boston, and then I came to New York. And when I came to New York, you were in the trenches with me at the comic strip, at Stand Up New York.
Hated that place.
Stand Up New York?
Hated it.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did, because Cary Hoffman was so good to me.
He wasn't to me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the owner took a shine to me for some reason. Actually, I'll tell you why. Because my father was a famous radio guy in New York, and Cary was a little bit of a star fucker. And I think that he took care of me because of my father. It's the only thing that they talk about, what do you call celebrity kids? Nepo babies.
Nepo baby, yeah.
It's the only Nepo baby treatment I ever got was at Stand Up New York. Nobody else ever gave a shit. My father was a radio
What
guy.
What an impressive place to get it.
Yeah.
I take it. Take it.
But the comic strip, there was a waitress. Do you remember a woman named Mary?
Yeah, I slept with her. I mean, I dated her. Sorry.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I dated her.
I never knew if you did, because
She was about this tall.
She was tiny.
Yeah.
And she had a great little body.
She was fat, and she had this smile. She had this crazy smile.
She was Irish smile.
Yeah.
Big Irish smile.
And she was fun, and she used to make me laugh.
Yeah.
And I remember, and we went to Thanksgiving at her house in Buffalo, North Tonawanda.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just in Buffalo, and I said, does anybody know Mary?
Yeah.
And nobody knew her. And I was like, somebody must know Mary. North Tonawanda. And I just kept asking, and nobody knew. But anyways, yeah, she was
so cute.
Yeah. And
I dated her for a minute.
You did date her?
Yeah.
I think everybody wanted to.
Yeah.
I can't believe I pulled it off. Or does that make us Eskimo brothers or something like that?
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Well, can I tell you my story? I hope I can say this. I can say this story on the air, right? She's not.
Sure, we'll just cut it out.
All right. We're on stage one night, and Jeff Ross used to do this bit where he would always tell the crowd how great they were early on in his set. And so I said to Mary, I go, I'll make you a bet right now that he says how great they are within the first 60 seconds he's on stage. And she's like, he's not going to do that. I go, he's going to do that. And she goes, well, what do you want to bet? And she goes, if he doesn't, you have to pay my electric bill this month because I just got it and it's high. And I said, and she goes, what about if he does say it? I said, then you have to come over to my apartment tonight.
Then pay my electric bill. That's a good win.
So 40 seconds in, you guys are great. I fucking write down my address. I hand it to her and I turned around and I walked out.
Oh my God.
And at around, they were late, and around 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just go, no way.
She was a goer.
Came up.
She was a goer.
Came up.
Good for you. I love it. I remember you dated somebody long term in New York.
Sue Costello.
Was that who it was?
Yeah.
Was that Sue Costello?
Yeah. We started dating in Boston and then in New York.
Was she a trainer or something?
Yeah, she did some training. I think she did some personal
I didn't know
training.
that was Sue Costello.
Yeah.
I remember Fitzsimmons dates this girl who's a trainer. She's a rocket.
You mean her body's a rocket? Yeah. Yeah, she was very cute and funny.
Was she older than you?
No, I think she's a few years younger than me.
Huh.
Yeah.
You never know now.
Deb,
I love her.
Have you dated other comedians over the years?
No, I don't think so. I'm sure, but I just we've been doing it a long time. People don't stand out, I don't think.
What about over the years? The rule is always don't shit in your own backyard and don't sleep with the waitresses. But
You sleep with the waitresses.
You sleep with the waitresses. Yes.
I don't know about you, but I wasn't good at meeting girls before comedy. So when comedy gives you that attention, and the people that work at the club, they know who the funny ones are, right? So they give you that attention.
Yep.
And you're like, I love this. Yeah. The thing that I learned was when I was young, you never sleep with them on a Wednesday.
Right.
Because you might decide on somebody else by Friday.
Yeah.
So I can't remember who taught me that, but I was like, oh, so you tried to meet, if you're going to hook up with a staff member, not until Saturday night.
Saturday night, unless you have an early flight on Sunday, then you may want to work a Friday night.
Well, at that point, I was not taking flights.
Greyhounds go every hour on the hour.
I could go whenever I wanted.
I only had a short range of that, though, because I met my wife when I was 30. Well, I started doing stand-up when I was 20. And then I was with Sue for a few years. But other than that, yeah, it was fun. It was a good run. But I don't miss it. It's a lot of work. Like I feel bad for guys that are like on their phones texting and on apps and the amount of lying that goes into that kind of lifestyle.
Well, back in the day when we were doing that, we didn't have the apps.
Right.
We didn't have the phones.
Yeah.
So if it was working out, it was working out.
And you didn't really keep in touch after that.
You didn't really, you didn't have to.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that. I'm glad I got it out. I feel some guys you can tell. They're like, oh, I got married because I had another life before comedy. And oh boy, I wish I'd tried this. Oh boy, I'm trying this. Oh boy, I'm divorced. I like my stuff.
Yeah, right.
I really like the stuff that I've got.
I can't imagine a worse, we both have friends that have gotten divorced. It's so ugly. It's never ugly. It's so traumatizing. And I'm lucky as hell. Like, I just fucking made out with my wife this morning before she went to work. I made out with her.
That's awesome.
We're 58 years old. Our dentures were falling out.
No, you're wearing hers right now.
Yeah. No, but it's like, I got fucking people go like, how do you stay married for 25 years? You got to find if you're lucky enough, especially as a comedian, somebody that can put up with you being away so much.
somebody that's self-sufficient, independent, doesn't want to be there for you all the time.
Right.
Like they have their own thing going on.
Right.
Like you're going to a show? I don't want to go. You know, like 9 out of 10 times you want to hear that.
Yeah.
Every so often you want to hear, I'm going to come along with you. Right. So yeah, I like it. And my favorite thing my wife does is it close to the ocean? I'm not traveling with you ever if it's not close to the ocean.
Oh, yeah. La Jolla. Yeah. She's in for La Jolla.
Yeah. It's just
San Francisco.
always picks the good ones. Yeah.
And then when I need her, when I'm in,
when I'm in Buffalo and it's gray and I'm in a Hampton Inn with a hockey team next to me that's 14 years old.
Oh, there's always that. Yeah. And they're playing in the hallway.
Yeah.
The parents bring them indoor sticks and pucks for the hallway.
And they won't let you play.
And they won't let you play.
You're too old.
I know.
You could be one of the coaches. They won't let you play.
Ugh, fucking kids.
Love it. My wife's getting her doctorate right now.
No.
Yeah, she's just finishing it off. So she has her white coat ceremony on Friday. So
doctorate in what?
Occupational therapy. And you made out with your wife this morning. I seen my wife go to school at 6:30 in the morning. And I'll see her tonight at some point.
Yeah.
But I will probably kiss her in January.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You kiss her when she hands you that fat check.
Yes.
That first fat check.
Here we go.
She's going to make some money.
She should.
Occupational therapist with a PhD. She's going to start out at 6 figures, starting out.
Yeah, she should do well.
How's the student loan?
Not bad. Actually, we didn't really take much out. So, but it's an impressive, I don't know how you get... If you're younger, and you don't have anybody to back you, how do you do that? Like you can't go work while you're taking one of those courses.
No,
it's insane.
Yeah,
like
no, it is. This world is set up for nepo babies because say you want to be an agent, say you want to be an actor, anything in show business. Well, not an actor because you have time to wait tables or whatever, but a job where a PA. You're working 60 hours a week and they're paying you $600 a week.
Yeah.
And so you can't live on that in LA. And so you need a parent that's going to pay your rent for you, pay your cell phone bill, your health insurance and all that shit. So you think like, how come there's no black people in Hollywood? Well, because socioeconomically they're from a tougher place and they don't have somebody that can bankroll them to follow their dream.
Yeah. I would say 90% of the people that follow their dreams are bankrolled.
Yes.
Yeah. And I actually was looking at, have you done this? I don't know. From where I started, my finances from where I started to where I am now, like what percentage of growth. Yeah. And I've actually built a nice little company. Like I've gone from having $7,000 in the bank to way more. Yeah. And it's insane. Talking about my balls has gotten me that far.
Yes.
It's fun.
It is so insane when I think to myself, we're companies. And this company doesn't make money this week if I have a cold. And guess what? I've never had a cold. Yeah. I have never.
You've had a cold Monday.
Yeah. Monday. Exactly. Yeah. It really does. I suppress my sicknesses until Monday. And I cannot remember, maybe once in 35 years, that I canceled a weekend of work because I was sick or injured or whatever.
I broke my ankle.
I remember that.
Right. And I don't know if I've ever told you the story. I'm on a plane with the baseball player that never Nolan is not
Nolan Ryan?
Is it
the fastball pitcher for the Rangers?
No, it's the guy that never missed a game. He's in Baltimore.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Ripken Jr.
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to him, cast on my leg, going to do a gig, and I wait until the flight's over, and I just look over and I said, I just want to let you know I've never missed a day of work.
Ah, that's amazing.
Right? And he goes, I'm sure my job was much more fun than yours. And I go, no.
Except when I was working in Baltimore.
Except for when I was scared. Did you ever do that club where there was 3 shows on Friday, 3 shows on Saturday?
No.
And they bought a ticket that included all the alcohol you can drink?
No.
It was crazy. Oh, what was it
Not
called?
Magoobies.
I think it was the Factory or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
It was fire.
How do you even remember what jokes you've done by the 3rd show?
Because you're busy trying not to be murdered by people that have drank so much, because they hear as much as you can drink, and they're like, we're doing it. It's like every buffet they've ever been to.
Yeah, right.
So,
but like going back to the company thing, you think about my equity in this company is my personality and my ability to find joy and humor in life. And I have depression. I have clinical depression. I take medications. I meditate every day. I work out. I do everything I can to fight it.
Make yourself happy.
My diet, protein, low carb, avoid sugars. Like I do everything.
I do the opposite.
You don't have any depression?
No, I do. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think to myself, all right, this company has a real production problem, that it has to fight against to be successful.
Right.
And then I lay in bed at night and when I had 2 little kids sleeping inside and my wife was not working, she didn't work for 18 years. Mm-hmm. So my ability to get my mood right before I went on stage was the difference between this company sinking and us. I don't know. There was no plan B.
Have you ever had to not go on stage? Have you ever not been able to?
Thursday night I was in San Francisco, and my depression is chemical, so it doesn't have something bad doesn't have to happen.
Right.
Something really small, like my room was delayed for 2 hours. I got there at 3 and they said it wasn't ready, so I had to wander San Francisco for 2 hours with my bag. And that was all it took, because sometimes there's other stuff that's been building and I'm in control of it, and then something makes it spill out, and then it's a toxic waste dump. And so I sat in the room for 2 hours, lights off, dark, and then I was like, I can't do this. And I've had this feeling before. I'm like, I can't. The only way I could get on stage was knowing that I had been in this place before and made it to the stage, and then it all worked out. I got on the stage, faked it for 5 minutes, and then all that...
Just the endorphins.
The endorphins, everything. I walked off that stage an hour later. It was like I'd never been depressed in my life.
It's amazing how great the stage is. Right?
Yeah.
I have the thing where to get myself in the happy mood, I hit myself and I got that from acting classes. It was the only thing I ever learned in an acting class.
From Sally Johnson?
No, I can't. Doug Orhit is what it is. You make yourself feel something to get there. So I'll hit myself, and sometimes I'll be a bruise because I'll just
shit,
like,
really?
Come on, you gotta get happy. You gotta get happy. Like just it's silly.
You're like a cutter.
Yeah,
You're a puncher.
It feels so good. It feels so good. But I stopped. I remember I used to watch, like when you have people open up for you that you don't know. They've booked, right?
Yeah.
Now you have somebody that you've never met and they're bad.
Yeah.
And it used to just put me into a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I would carry that on stage like you wouldn't believe. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I stopped watching and fucking hiding and hitting myself.
Yeah. The features on stage going like, what's that thumping?
What's that thumping? Why is that guy crying? I'm happy.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Punching yourself to get your emotions.
But it's right here, right? Like just above the knee.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just keep going.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe I'll try that next time.
But
but
maybe it's something. Maybe it's not punching. Maybe it's like touching something. Maybe I could have gone way easier. Like some sort of material that goes, oh yes, this reminds me of when I'm happy.
Well, I think that's definitely what pacing is. I do a lot of pacing. Not always, but when I'm not feeling in the place I need to be, I pace very fast before I go on.
Really? Huh?
Yeah.
When you're not in the space, you'll. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that'll get me there. And then if I have to do crowd work instantly because I need to get my thoughts out. Because if I talk to the crowd, I'll just start talking extemporaneously about how depressed I am.
Right.
And the crowd hears that. And now there's not that dissonance between what's going on in my head and what the audience is watching. Because that's the real nightmare, is that I'm in this dark place and they need the happy guy to be entertaining them. But if I walk on stage and I go, great to see you guys, and by great, I mean, this is better than staring at the floor in the dark in my hotel room for 2 hours because I want to fucking end my life. And then they go like, whoa. And now we're in the same place.
Right.
And they're watching me work through it, and they're helping me work through it.
It's connection.
Yes.
It's connection.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing about us on stage, and I don't think it's crowd work. I think it's connection, right? Because the connection you make from material is a speech, but the connection you make through crowd work is a friendship, right? So it's different, right? So, but they're there so they can escape and they can get into your problem, right? And they can go, I recognize this, or I don't recognize this. Well, like, what the fuck is this guy all about? Or this guy, like, I have that too. I'm fucking so happy. I'm loving that he's doing it, right?
Right.
So I think it's great.
And I think you're right. It's not always I can relate to this, but sometimes it's like, wow, I'm curious about this journey.
Yeah.
You know? Wow, this guy punches himself in the leg.
Yeah.
Like if you told audiences that, they would just be like so open to you.
Yeah. There's a reason I limp when I come up.
Right. I think people want to understand comedians because it's like, you know, first of all, when I sit on a plane next to somebody and they ask me what I do for a living, I still, my thing is, I sell paper.
That's funny.
Because I know that ends the conversation.
That's funny. I'm an explosives.
That's not what you say? Really?
Yeah, I work in a mine.
And what if they ask you questions?
I know. I worked in a gold mine, so I can answer them.
No shit.
Yeah, when I was like 18, 19, I used to work in explosives. So, yeah, I just go back to that.
Did you ever try to sneak gold out?
No, you couldn't. You weren't out there. Yeah, no, there's nowhere.
You couldn't stick it up your ass?
Everything else but the gold. I just
there was no room.
Just putting rocks in there. Didn't know if it had gold or not. I was sitting next to a pilot once, you know, hat, everything.
Yeah.
Get to the end of the flight and I just turn on and go, what do you do? He didn't do it.
That's good. I had a flight attendant sitting next to me on a red eye from LA to New York. And this is many years ago. I was just a kid. You know, I was like probably 22 or something. And I was in the middle seat and I kept falling asleep and my head kept going on her shoulder. And she's in her uniform. And so I felt like, oh, fuck, she's going to throw me off the flight. And after 3 or 4 times, she just reached over and she put her hand on my head and she put it on her shoulder.
No way.
And I slept against her for the entire flight.
And the best sleep you probably ever had.
It was amazing sleep. Yeah. And so we get there and now we're at Kennedy Airport and it's like 6:05 a.m. And I wake up and I kind of look at her and she looks at me and I didn't know. I was single at the time. I was like, should I ask her out? I was like, no, because she was just did a nurturing thing and that would be weird. And
it's like asking your aunt out.
Yeah. Well, you don't know my aunt.
Aunt Susan she was a goer.
Yeah. Aunt Susan was down to party.
Did you ask her out or no?
No, I didn't. And it was actually awkward afterwards because it was so intimate and then we didn't even know anything about each other. So it would have been starting all over again. And I was groggy.
One night stand.
Yeah.
Bad breath. Just, you want to go out?
Right.
Were you a drinker when you first started?
I quit after 1 year of stand-up.
Really? 1 year?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I just got to an age where I was like, it wasn't ever a problem, but it could get messy at times. You know? And I just like, as soon as I recognized it affected the show the day afterwards, I was like, I just don't recover. So I was probably about 38 and I was just like, I just don't drink anymore. Like I do once in a while when I'm not working, but that happens so infrequently.
Yeah.
So, but I
What do you drink beer?
No, I like a good old fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Canadians, it's such a part of your culture. Drinking is.
Yeah. I'm a little weird.
Is it hard to be around like the people you grew up with and not drink?
No.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys I started with have quit. All my good friends have quit.
But it's a company.
Yeah.
You don't get things done.
Right.
And sadly, alcohol gets in the way, right?
Yeah.
It's fun, but there's also, it gets in the way of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And if we don't do everything for our business, if you're not paddling, you're going backwards.
Yep.
So.
How much time a day do you spend on social media?
So morning, around noon. Probably at least 4 hours a day.
And that's just replying to people, posting ideas?
Just coming up with ideas, posting ideas, replying to people, trying to figure out the next day, so.
What kind of postings do you do?
I do, I do three reels a week on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Same reel, same clip on each one?
Most of the time, same clip.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm starting to learn a little bit more, so it's changing a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also do one on Reddit a week, and I should take it up to 3. And now I'm trying to see if I can get any traction on Blue Sky.
Oh, yeah. Blue Sky, you got to be very clean, I think, right? Or apolitical.
Yeah, I prefer that. So,
yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to sneeze, I think. So, but.
Do you?
And then I do one long form video a week on YouTube.
And are those all stand-up clips?
90%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you videotape your own shows?
I travel with a guy that records. My buddy who opens for me is a great stand-up named John Wynn, but he also teaches film. Mm-hmm. And we've created this package that travels with us. So we do a 4-camera shoot with sound and yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So we record.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and we've got it down to basically 2 suitcases. So. And
they're stationary cameras except for the one that he's carrying.
Yeah. So and we also have 2 or 3 GoPros that we place around for audience response. And
then the how do you get the audience's audio?
We have mics and setup around. So wow. Yeah.
Good for you, man.
It's a business, right?
It's a business, and you're doing it right because, some guys will just get a tripod and put their phone on it, but I think that the average person, when they see that kind of quality, they just kind of flip past it. Yeah. It's got to look decent.
I recently did a theater in Toronto, and we did it, and we realized, there's a step up when you do theaters.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff, I'm just like, it looks like a special.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And we're doing this, we're setting it up. He's setting it up. I'm just doing other stuff. He's setting it up. Like I've given him percentage of the business.
Yeah.
To keep him in. Right.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's one of those things I'm like, fuck, I'm 54. Would have been really nice to be doing this at 45, but the technology wasn't there.
Right.
Right. So I'm not really late. I'm coming in at this age. That's all it is, right? So
do you have to kill seats to set up your cameras?
No.
You just put in the aisles?
We set them up on there's just rigging things that we set them up.
Uh-huh.
So we have straps and then find a pole.
Yeah.
Things off of. Yeah, we
right.
got them all over.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and we're not afraid to buy things and experiment and let it fail.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So I tried. There's a GoPro that you can wear. It's just like it's a little tiny. And I was hoping that I could have that conversation, but it just wasn't catching it. But
Right.
So
what do you put a camera behind you facing the crowd?
2.
So you can catch the whole front row. Yeah.
And It doesn't always catch them.
Uh-huh.
Because at the end of the day, we're still a one-man band, so it's not always going to be perfect, and it's sometimes disappointing. But for the most part, we get, we're putting out. I put out 4 hours a year, 1 hours a year.
You do?
Yeah. And then 10 minutes clips, 10-minute long stand-up pieces, and 10-minute vlogs like I've been doing, just going around the city and just having fun.
Right? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then I do a compilation, one compilation a month, which is just taking all my reels and putting them onto one, and putting them out as a long form.
Yeah.
But it's just the gatekeepers aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
So to find the people, I got to go find them.
Right.
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 And I think everybody else has to go find them too.
Yeah, you got to find them. And what's tough is that it's about consistency. Like, I was telling you before about I put a special out. So I did all the podcasts. I put up tons of clips. And then it just fell off. Then I just stopped putting stuff out. And the algorithm really rewards the guy that keeps doing it week in and week out, month in and month out.
So are you clipping up? Did you clip up your special?
Yeah, but I'm still putting those clips out. They're not doing that well, though.
But do you want to do them 3 times a week?
Probably twice a week, yeah.
Go to 3.
Yeah.
Don't go over a minute.
Yeah.
And just find different ways of putting them out. Like maybe it's you, hey guys, like a clip of you saying, hey guys, this is from my special. Here's what happened.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Just putting them out.
You mean saying that and then showing the clip?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just try different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on Instagram, I learned recently there's an audio scroll. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
On Reels, right?
Yeah.
You can now I don't know if you can now, but you can take that out and put whatever you want. So find tickets at ianbagg.com.
Oh.
Find Greg. Find the whole special ad.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So.
And that's part of their system.
Yeah.
That scrolling text.
Yeah, it's if when you go to it when you're putting it out, like you can change your thumbnail. When you're at that part. If you scroll down a little bit, it just says original audio. Yeah. And you can replace that original.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, look, this sounds real inside baseball, but I think a lot of people that listen to this podcast are in the comedy field, or at least are comedy nerds, and so I think this is probably interesting for them.
And I don't know if you're there or always been there, or you think I'm dumb, but I think we have to share with each other.
Uh-huh.
They really, when there was the gatekeepers, they really it was a gladiator. We were against each other.
Yeah.
But now it's just the internet just finds more and more people to buy your stuff.
Right.
So you can never run out if you keep giving them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like, oh, there's 100,000 people. Well, if Greg does something, you can't do something.
Uh-huh.
No, there's billions of people.
Yeah.
Greg can do it. You can do it. That guy can do it. She can do it. You know?
Right.
That's what's great about it. We're not in competition with each other ever.
Right. No, it's like a mall.
Yeah.
You want stores next to you because people are going to go look around. Yeah. And if they like the Gap here, then look, the Banana Republic, I was going to buy pants and now I can go, and comedy is just so broad on the internet. Like you ask anybody, what do you go on the internet for? Comedy.
Yeah.
We've been in the epicenter of it for the last 30 years, Yeah. But can you make that transition into this new media and take advantage of this? And it's amazing that you are.
You have to.
Yeah.
Those most resistant to change are the first to be left behind, right? Mm-hmm. So, it sucks. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But even the laziest comic is a hard worker. Yeah. And I don't care what anybody says. The laziest comic is a hardest worker because they're going out and doing sets every night. That's fucking hard work. Mm-hmm. Getting off your couch at the most comfortable time of the day to be on the couch. Yeah. So they have it. It's just giving them the knowledge to figure out how to do it.
No, it's like when I was talking to the guy that's fixing my fence right now, who's got a blowtorch and a bandana around his face, and he's picking up pieces of fence that I would think 4 guys would need to do. And he goes to me, God, what you do is so hard. He goes, I fly like once a year, and it's such a big deal for me. He's like, I got to figure out what I'm packing. How do I get to the airport? Meanwhile, I do that most people, once a year they travel. Yeah. We do it every week.
Yeah. 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 It's insane. When you travel during the busy times of year, and I call it amateur traveling. Yeah. You really see what goes on with our traveling. Like people just losing their shit. Yes. Yes. And we just gotta
I get a delay. I get a movie on my phone. Yeah. I'll call the club. And it's the other weird thing. I think I've missed one show from a delayed or missed flight in my life. It's always seemed to work. And I don't fly in it. I don't land at 6:00 for an 8:00 show.
I do.
Oh, do you really? Yeah.
So I've missed 2.
I have like a 4-hour window.
You've got to be in the morning.
If I got an 8:00 show, I got to be in by like 3:30.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm either a red eye or an early morning guy. Yeah. Yeah, to get to the show.
Right. So I hate connecting. I turn gigs down if they're a connection, unless it's a really good club. Oh yeah, I don't want to ruin. I got to get there a night early now, and then the next day on the Sunday you fly out. You don't get home until the late afternoon.
You never get home until the late afternoon.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if I go,
Do you not take Sunday night gigs anymore?
rarely.
Because it's better getting home Sunday than Monday, right?
I want to see football. I want to be on my couch watching football. Also, I got into that routine because of having kids, because, my kids had the weekend off and I was already missing them on Saturday. So I would always be on the first flight home Sunday morning, because with LA time, I would be landing at 10 o'clock
Right.
from wherever, and I'd have the whole day with my kids.
Right.
And now I'm just kind of in that habit. And
Did you guys ever live in New York as a family?
no,
Were you tempted?
not really. It's so easy raising kids in LA compared to New York.
Yeah.
I have friends that raise their kids there, and they don't know how to ride a bike. Like
They
they
can
can
switch 3 chains in the middle of the night, but they can't ride a bike.
right. They can load a crack pipe, but they can't ride a bike. It's weird. So no, this was the place to do it, and now my son actually wants to move to New York in June because he loves it. Because me and my wife, our
right?
families are from there, so he's got so many cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents in the
son now?
city. He's 24.
Does he finish school?
Yeah, he finished a year ago.
I used to love when you'd book gigs in Chicago just to go see him.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like when guys, Chad Daniels has a son around that age, and a couple other guys. I was like, it's awesome when they go, I'm going to go see my son and I'm going to make a little bit of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my son would bring all his college friends to my show.
No way.
And it was at the Den Theater in Chicago,
cool.
which is one of the great venues in the country. And I would crush because he was out there. I
Extra effort.
I would write out my set, take out all the stuff, punch my leg, and I would take out all the stuff about fucking his wife from my wife from behind, his wife, his mother. And then I'd hang out with his friends afterwards, and he would be the coolest kid in school for a week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Right.
How old were you when you started stand-up?
I was in college, so I was like 20, 21.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I was lucky because I started in Boston where there was just a ton of rooms. We had 4, 5, 7-night-a-week rooms in downtown Boston. And then you had outside the city, there was another dozen clubs that were within 20 minutes away.
Boston was the internet before the internet.
Yes, it really was.
Like, guys didn't leave Boston
Yeah.
and had homes.
Yeah, guys still don't. There's still a bunch of guys that make a really good living. And they're some of the best comics I've ever seen. Don Gavin and Steve
Don
Sweeney.
Gavin is one of the, just like, I watched him every show when I worked with him at the, back in the day in the Tropicana.
In
There was 2
Atlantic
shows-
City?
No, in Vegas. So it was 2 shows a night. I watched 14 shows, and I never watched comedy. So I was just amazed by that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Just the movement of him.
Movement.
Just the flow, just everything. You're just like, what is this?
Yeah, it's like musical.
Yeah.
He's so effortless, and he doesn't ever give the audience the feeling that they have any impact on him.
Yeah.
You can laugh, you don't laugh. He'll check his joke doesn't work. He just checks his watch.
So good. So good.
Yeah. So anyway, I got to start. I was making a living. By the time I graduated college, I didn't have a job. I was just doing stand-up. And I look at comics today in LA just like begging to get, a weekend after years. Like they do it for years and they're just trying to make $500 on the road.
But it's different here in LA. There's these guys that already have a following.
Yeah.
That are making a heap of money.
Right.
There's the guys that have the nepotism that don't have to go on the road, that are able to get stuff in the industry because they're in their face because they're here all the time.
Stand-up comics?
Yeah, like guys that are not great, that may be like working a second job, that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're getting stuff. They're getting stuff. And then there's people that are really funny that haven't grasped how to get an audience online or whatever.
Right.
That just can't get work.
Yeah. Right.
But I think none of us got work back in the day, right? I don't remember.
What do you mean?
Like on the road? Did any of us really go on the road back when we started?
No. I did colleges. That was the road for me. When I was in my 20s, I did a lot of colleges. Like like late 20s. And what was great about that is I could go and I'd do like a 10-day run where I would do like 12 colleges. I do nooners and nighttime. And I'd come home with what?
Those noon ones were,
they were so bad that it didn't even bother me after a while because I just realized like they don't care. I don't care. I'm cashing a check.
I remember I started doing colleges and I was like, I had a week and I was just like, this is not fun. And you came on stage one night with a letter that they had written to you from the college.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he's my hero. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think you didn't have dinner with them or something like that. Like all these stupid.
It was like, well, and I invited. It was a Christian school, and I invited the class to my hotel room for a keg after the show. I was just making shit up. I was talking. They said he talked about doing cocaine and having sex with his grandmother, and they wanted the money back, but
You didn't give it back.
No, But anyway, so I could come back to New York and then not go on the road for like 2 or 3 weeks, a month, and then I'd go do
and make enough money colleges. In the city.
Yeah,
going from club to club that you're living okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I auditioned for commercials, which I swear to God, I lived in New York for 10 years. I must have gone on 300 auditions, and I think I booked 2 commercials in all that time.
I think I did 10.
Oh yeah, you used to book commercials.
Yeah, it was so often. It was.
What'd you get? Like beer.
The beginning of the internet, the .coms, like that were selling weird things.
Yeah.
I got those. I got pizza. I got, can't remember, a couple other things.
Did you try to do that in LA?
I did. I actually switched over like halfway through. Like I was like, because they'd send me out to LA most of the time. So that's when I moved out here because I was booking commercials.
Right.
So I did it. And then the strike happened. And it just dried up for me completely.
Yeah.
It was just a kick in the balls.
Yeah. Is it funny you look back and you go like, it's so corny, but like that was a good thing looking back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like right now, like podcasting revenues are changing a lot. It used to be like a buyer, whether it was a betting site or whatever, they would say like, are we like his podcast, like his pie? And now they go to podcast networks and they say, here's a lump check. We want males between 28 and 37. And then the network divvies up the money. And so that's all changing. So I'm sort of like reworking the finances for this podcast right now. But I go like, well, I'm not going to go like, oh, it's fucking over. I'm going to go like, no, what's the new way? Maybe I do a Patreon, maybe whatever.
Yeah, you never give up.
Yeah.
Never give up. Do you work with Punch Up?
What's that?
They control my schedule on my website, but they have kind of a Patreon thing there. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they also do. You can watch my videos that you can't find anywhere else. If you sign up for my mailing list, and they have a mailing list, and their mailing list is you. I'll introduce you to them if you want.
Is it a hosting service?
It's a hosting service.
I did hear about this.
But it's kind of interesting. But, I was like, oh, that's interesting then, because I have a Patreon, right?
Yeah.
Which I enjoy. I put some extra things out, but I don't really understand it. Like, there's guys that make house payments a month on.
Tim Dillon makes like $300,000 a month.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane, right? So, but this way you could have it all in one area. And the thing that I liked about it was when they sign up, they get their stuff, and you now have them all. They will find out in their area where your show is. Like
right.
If they sign on to your website, they see the show that's in their area before they see all the other shows.
So it's got geolocation or whatever.
So, and then you can send them emails, I'm coming too. So
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
yeah, I need to do that. I have a kind of social media person, and she was telling me that we're going to migrate over. There was 2 she was looking at, but that sounds like that's the one to go with.
What was the other one she was looking at?
I don't know.
Rock Band or something like that?
No, not Rock Band. I think I used to be with Rock Band. But there's so many ways to do it now. And I think what you said is what it is. You got to give a little extra. You got to, and to do that, you have to be excited about that content. Like we got this green screen studio, and we've got some new technologies that we're playing with here. And I'm excited to try to do something with the green screen that'll be standalone segments.
I think you still do your weekly news show, right?
Yeah, Sunday papers.
Do you do it in front of here?
No.
Why are you?
That's what Paul just asked me, because Mike Gibbons is lazy and wants to do it from his closet every week.
Yeah, but you can stand in front of this with your stories. You can be in the story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
the other problem is
Gibbons might have come in from home. Hello.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you mean I could do that and he could be from home?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. The other problem is we usually tape it on Friday or Saturday, and I'm on the road half the time.
Could you change it or no?
We'd have to shoot earlier in the week. Yeah, but then we're not
That's
getting...
actually pretty good, because then now you're giving them like a Friday, Saturday show. Like you're putting it out for, like if you're taping it Thursday, they're getting it for Friday, Saturday.
No, it's called the Sunday Papers.
But you could do it Friday, Saturday.
Put it out Friday or Saturday, and it's called the Sunday Papers? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the at midnight. Remember they moved it to 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Come on. We named this for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, listen, I have a script. I have some questions that I want to ask you.
Don, just the Mary McDonald one?
Oh, my God. That was
awesome.
That was a good one.
She was like this tall.
She was tiny, and you're right. She had that smile. She was funny, and a sparkle. She had a real sparkle. Yeah. But I remember seeing you guys flirting, and I always wondered if you guys ended up dating. Huh?
I didn't pull it off like you did.
That was pretty sweet.
Here's a number. I'll see you there.
I've got 2 or 3 stories like that where I look back and I go, how did I pull that out of my
Where did
ass?
I get it? Where did I get that confidence?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I love it.
You want to hear another one?
Yes.
I was in college. I think I was like a freshman in college, and I was home for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
No. I was probably like a senior in college because I was doing stand-up already. So I'm home for the summer, and
which is a funny thing for a stand-up to hear. Well, as a stand-up, I was home for the summer.
Well, I was in college.
Right, yeah, but still, when you're home for the summer as a stand-up, working stand-up.
Yeah. So I get up at like noon, and there's a knock on the door, and my mom's at work, my dad's at work, my brother and sister are not home. They're living elsewhere.
Right.
I open up the door, and it's this magazine sales girl, these high schools that would, they'd go around to different towns and sell magazine subscriptions. So this girl, and I remember she was a senior in high school, and so I'm hoping she was 18 for the sake of this story.
For the sake of the story, she was 18.
She was 18.
Yeah. Almost 19.
And I'm, 20.
Old Man River.
And she says, "Would you like to buy a magazine?" And I said, "Well, let me see the catalog." And I looked, and I go, "I don't really want any of these magazines." And she goes, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Well, if you want to come in and have a cup of coffee, you can try to pitch me some of these magazines." No. So she comes in, I give her some coffee, and I'm wearing like boxer shorts and a t-shirt. And we're talking about the magazines, and it gets a little bit flirty. And then she asked me if this is where I live, and I said, "Yeah, this is my house."
No way.
And she said, "This is your house?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a comedian." And she goes, "You must be a pretty big comedian." I go, Yeah. I said, "Do you want to see a video of me doing stand-up?"
VHS.
It was a VHS tape. We walk into the family room. It's got like, old people curtains and a shag rug. Awesome. And I put in the tape, and it's me doing 5 minutes, in front of a fireplace at a Chinese restaurant. And it's 5 minutes, and I'm probably bombing. But she was, this Okie from the middle of Indiana, and she was like, oh, she's in New York, and she's like, oh my God.
It's all happening.
It's all happening. And so we start fooling around. And then she said, "Do you have a condom?" And I ran up to my brother's room, and I got a condom. And then I came back downstairs, and she goes, "Do you want to go to your bedroom?" And I was thinking in my head, it's got like race car wallpaper and a Fonzie poster. We can't go in my bedroom.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I couldn't go in my parents' bedroom. Yeah. So I said, "No, let's just stay on the couch." So we had sex on the couch, and then she leaves, and I didn't buy a magazine.
Oh, it's the biggest win.
And then An hour later, she's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I gotta meet the van because the van would drop them up, and then they take them to a different neighborhood. Way. Yeah, I gotta go meet the van."
She's pulling this off in between meeting the van and selling. Oh, this is impressive.
So she gets in the van and leaves, and then I get a call like an hour later from my friend Tommy, and he's like, "Dude, you're not gonna believe what happened." I go, "What?" He goes, "This girl comes to my door selling magazines."
No way.
He goes, "And she's cute. She's like from the Midwest." I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Anyway, like, I totally hit on her. I told her she was pretty, but I didn't buy a magazine. She just left. But I mean, and I was like, I didn't buy the magazine either." And she came in.
How mad was he? Was he furious?
He was furious because he was the good looking one. He's the one that always got the girl.
No
but
way.
She'd already busted a nut. She had nothing left in the tank.
I tell you what, funny over good looking any day of the week.
Yep.
See?
Plus, I had a big house.
Huge house. And a race car badge. She was just... How did she not just see the family picture?
I know.
Just a huge portrait on the wall and you just sitting to the side.
Also, I've got acne. Why would I have a 4-bedroom house?
These payments on this house gives me pimples. The stress of the house. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
that's a great story.
Yeah, I pulled off a couple good ones.
Do you tell them on stage?
No, I should.
You should.
I might say she was in college on stage, just because I don't want people saying that I'm like a.
You don't even need to tell the age. You don't like you could because people just think she's selling magazines. She might be 30.
Yeah,
you're right.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that she was young though.
It was good times.
Isn't it weird to think? When did you lose your virginity?
18.
And how old was she?
I think 22.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
She was older. She wanted a little of the bag. No, I don't know.
How'd you meet her?
Australia, through a cousin.
You were visiting Australia?
My family's Australian, my mom's side.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
And so you went down on a family vacation. You met a 22-year-old Australian girl.
You went down on a family vacation. As a matter of fact, I did.
So and she made the moves on you.
I think it was I was so awkward. I think I was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you a heavy kid?
Yeah. 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 I'm this guy.
Yeah. Right.
I float up and down. So
right.
That was okay then, I think. So.
So. All right, then that ruins the next question.
Why?
Well, I was going to say it's weird because I lost my virginity at 16, and I remember that at the time, one of the girls that I slept with was 15. And then you, as a 58-year-old, you go, wait, nobody should be having sex with a 15-year-old. But I guess if you're 16, you're grandfathered in.
Yeah, yeah.
I know, but just the concept of sex with a 15-year-old is so weird.
You shouldn't be looking back on it now and go, I do like that kind of girl.
Pull the high school yearbook off the shelf.
As a matter of fact. I do love a good blemish.
I like a skittish look in a girl's eyes.
It's terrible. It's terrible, but it's funny. Everybody laughs.
Yeah, braids. Is there any sport? This is called Fastballs with Fitz.
Okay. I
asked you some quick questions, and you answer them. Is there any sport that's ever been dominated by one player to the extent that Wayne Gretzky is unequivocally the greatest hockey player of all time?
You soccer, right? Pele?
Would you? Is he like?
Yeah.
I don't think he won as many World Cups.
But there's, yeah. But you have to.
Well, there's goals scored.
Right.
I remember my son explaining to me that Pele was great in his day, but that his numbers didn't stack up to, I don't know if it's Messi or Ronaldo, but one of them has better numbers.
But Gretzky changed the sport by how good he was, right?
Yes.
Pele changed the sport by how good he was.
Yes, that's
right?
true. Okay.
I would look at it like that. I don't think, because the game is played different at different times of history.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So I don't think numbers can be compared.
You have to look at what Jordan did to basketball when basketball was kind of dead.
Right.
You know, you look at what Bird and Magic did when basketball was dead. Each of those
players brought the game back.
I think football and hockey, the equipment's so different now.
Yeah.
Like, wow, what would Rocket Richard be doing with a pair of Bauer skates made today and a curve on his stick that is made of graphite?
Yeah.
So you have to look at it like that.
Right.
Whereas, and I guess tennis the same, but soccer, it was just played different because there's nothing really more. Like the shorts aren't lighter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's true.
yeah.
And tennis, the rackets are so different.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was so much more about touch with a wooden racket, having finesse and touch, covering the court in sneakers that were made of canvas.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It was so much more exact. There was no room for error at all.
Yeah. So they were impressive beyond.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But it also doesn't look as good on black and white though.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, that's stupid.
Right. What are the original 6 NHL hockey teams?
Chicago, Boston, Toronto, Montreal. What am I missing? Toronto, Montreal, Chicago, Boston. Man, why can't I remember the two? Detroit.
Yep.
And
There's one that everybody misses. New York.
Rangers.
You got it.
Is that the one everybody misses?
Yeah, everybody misses the Rangers.
Just owned by the weirdest owner ever of all times right now.
Yes.
Ugh,
Very strange.
so strange.
Doesn't he own the Knicks as well?
The Knicks and the
And Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Gardens and where the Rockettes play, he owns that.
The Rockettes?
You know, they do the dancing. What's that?
Radio City Music Hall?
that, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he owns the Sphere in Vegas.
No!
Yeah.
Dude, you got to go to that. We saw the Dead there this
Was it
year.
crazy?
It was crazy.
You know what I want to go to? There's a place kind of like it where you're in a building. It's a bar, but it feels like you're in the stadium.
Yes, my friend just went to that.
It's in Inglewood, right?
Yes.
Yes, I want to go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've got one of those in a few cities now. You and I are friends with Tim Robbins,
Yes.
who was just on the show here about 4 months
On this
ago.
one?
Yep.
How's he doing?
He's doing great.
His son's really funny. I watch him on social media.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he came in. We talked about his new play that he has at the Actors Gang. I don't know if you ever get over there to see any of his plays.
No.
Name 4 Tim Robbins movies.
Okay. Is it? Can I describe them, or do I have to give their titles?
You got to give the titles. Son of a... Oh, by the way, this is for a T-shirt.
Shawshank Redemption.
That's one.
Mm-hmm. What's the one with Martin Lawrence? I want to say Get Out, but it's not Get Out. It's The Getaway. No. Oh, forget it. It's not that one. Shawshank Redemption.
I can give you hints.
The producers. No. What? No, it's not the producers. What is it? Oh. Okay, give me a hint.
Baseball.
Oh, Bull Durham.
Yep. Irish Mafia.
Oh.
New York City.
Oh. Why am I?
Jacob's Ladder.
He was in Jacob's Ladder? I don't even remember.
That's what it says here.
You know who I know was in Jacob's Ladder? There's a comic that was in Jacob's Ladder.
What?
There was a comic that was in Jacob's Ladder.
Who was it? Look at you. You can't even answer your own question.
know.
Never mind my questions. The player was the one you were trying to think of.
Yes. Yes.
And then there was one set in Boston.
You know what? I couldn't even remember the one I was in. That was so stupid.
Oh, is that why you brought it up?
The Great Little Rock. Yeah.
Oh, right. I remember he
so
put you in one of his.
Yeah.
Because we played on a hockey team with him in New York.
Yeah. Did you bring up hockey with him?
We won the championship.
Yeah. I think we're still. I don't think there was any more championships after that. I think we're
Really?
the only one. Yeah.
It was the Policemen and Firemen's League, so I'm guessing we lost some of those guys in 9/11.
I think we lost a lot of those guys.
Yeah, because that was in 97?
99.
99 we played in that league. Yeah, so a lot of those guys must have.
It was 2 police teams, 2 fire teams, Secret Service,
And FBI.
and FBI. So
Yeah.
definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
The FBI guys were douchebags.
Douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a non-contact league, and they would just lay you out.
I remember walking out, and they were arguing with the guy at the booth for parking.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want to pay for parking. I was like, you guys are assholes.
Yeah. What is... there are 2 types of people in the world. Go.
Black and white.
That's the best answer I've ever heard. Who's the worst feature act you've ever had?
Oh, my God. Has anybody ever answered this question?
Oh, yeah. You don't have to say his name. You can
I
just
will.
describe him or her.
Jim Gaffigan.
Was he a feature for you?
No.
Yeah.
I used to open for him, and he used to get so mad at me.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't do crowd work. I'm like, well, why are you allowed to use Hot Pockets? This doesn't make sense. There was a guy that I worked with in Vegas, and he would do a lot of singing and then change the words, and he'd say this as you can applaud if you want to.
Oh, no. Really?
He would just beg for applause breaks. It was just
Some
crazy.
guys used to plant the seed for the standing O.
No
During
way.
their set, they'd be like, blah, 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 and I know you guys like that, but save that for the standing O at the end.
That's really
And then they
funny.
would bow, and they would go like this with their arms. They'd raise the arms up as they were saying goodnight,
No
Yeah.
way.
and they would get the standing O's. I mean, when's the last time you got a standing ovation?
Saturday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Dude.
But I'm one of those guys that's I book it. I say, hey, good night, thanks. I'll be out there and start booking it, and I can see them standing there. We catch them on camera. That's what.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Dude, that's powerful.
it's pretty fun.
I get maybe 5 a year.
How often do you get recognized in the airport?
Usually every time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's.
Usually once.
Do you do this?
Once a trip.
Do you go with this? I gotta stop telling people to fuck off. Because too many people are recognizing me now. I can't tell the person at fucking at TSA. They're a
I
fucking
know.
idiot.
I know. No, it happened this morning. I went to REI to buy some gifts for Christmas, and I'm checking out, and I go, I have an REI card. Can I use the credit from that? And he goes, let me look it up. And he goes, what's your phone number? And I give him the phone number, and he goes, no, you don't have a credit on here. I go, well, we were just here last week, and they said there was a $30 credit, and we hadn't used it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not in the computer. I go, do you mind checking again? I try not to have a tone when I say, can you check again? And he checked again. He's like, oh, yeah, I did. I found it, blah, blah, blah. And then I go, thanks a lot. I pay him. As I'm walking out, he goes, by the way, thanks for all your great work. You're hilarious. I was like, well, why didn't you look it up by my name?
How could you not find it?
Oh. And he checked my ID.
Are you serious?
Yes. Check my ID.
So he
and
was
then,
playing that he didn't know you the whole
yes.
time. But then at the end, he's like,
Unless he saw my name, and then it's
On the ID?
because I'm more in the audio world maybe than in the TV or film world. Maybe he didn't know my face as much and saw my name and went, oh, I've listened to this guy's podcast or something.
do you think people still listen more to podcasts than watch them?
Mine for sure. I would say 90-something% of my
People
listeners
start watching. He's got a
watch
green
it.
screen.
I got a great face. My guest is not hard on the eyes.
Hard on the hearing.
Who do you want to give your eulogy when you die?
Nobody. I don't want to die. I don't think I want one. I think I would like to. I'd like to be a bench. You know what I mean? You see when they give people benches.
Yeah.
And just the. Here's another escape for me and Bagg. Right? Just sit down and relax. Who would you have?
Mike Gibbons.
Nice.
You know Mike Gibbons, right?
Yeah, but now you're thinking you're going to die before him. That's
Oh, I'm definitely going to die before him. I'm dying before you. I'm dying before everybody.
man. You got plans.
Yeah.
Don't.
I don't.
I need you around until you're about 80, 85.
That seems excessive.
Nah, you do a lot of stretching. You're going to be just fine.
Yeah. Give it a shot. All right, last question, then I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
When's the last time you apologized?
Friday in the airport when I was like, I don't need to show you my fucking. So when you fly Delta at LAX, right?
Yeah. New terminal, love it.
A beautiful terminal. But to get from this side, you have to go by this. You don't need to show your TSA. You don't need to show your boarding pass because you're going to another check-in. Right? And
they make you go in at 3 and then walk over to 4.
Yeah. So there's an escape and then they never check it, but every once in a while there's somebody that's never walked down the other end and figured it out, right? And this lady, I'm like, I need to see her thing, and I'm like, what's in my bag? I don't want to get it out, and I don't need it to go over there. I'm going to put my bag in the thing. I need to see it, and I just like, and I said, and I was, my wife was in my ears. And she's like, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
These are the people that can't control anything. Don't be an asshole. And I was a little short, and I said, sorry about that. I apologize that I was short with you. And right afterwards, when I got onto the other side, a pilot stopped me and said, hey, man, I love watching your clips online. They're fantastic. I was just like, 3 minutes earlier, I would have been the biggest asshole ever.
Right. Yeah, I just apologized on Thursday night. It was the night that I was depressed at the Punchline in San Francisco. Come off. I'm in a good mood. I sell pins after the show. I have these little pins.
What do they say? What are they?
It's my face and my name. It's a little pin.
I want one.
All right, I have one in my bag. I'll give it to you.
I want it.
So I put the bag out on a table in the lobby, and then I get off stage and I walk out to the table in the lobby. And as I'm doing it, they announce from the lady, as people are walking over, go, please exit on that side. There's other doors. And she's sending them. I'm standing there with a table of merch, and I'm losing hundreds of dollars as she sends people to the other side.
Oh, my God.
And I go, what are you doing? I go, why are you sending them? She goes, well, that's where we want people. I go, no. I've been coming to this club literally 25 years. And that's she was new. And I got snappy with her, and then after I finished selling, I went over and I said, "Hey, I didn't mean to be short with you. It's just that that's never happened before."
That's money, and if you take my money away from me, I'm a little short.
Yeah.
It's in, but at least you're nice afterwards.
Oh, because I beat myself up when I'm not kind to people. I really beat myself up. It's like the opposite of Ellen.
You know what's so funny? You got this great acidic tongue.
Yeah.
And I find the people with the best acidic tongues really feel guilty after.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you and I on stage have acidic tongues, but like I think you said before, it's like a friendship. So you're ball busting a good friend when you're doing crowd work.
If I would never talk to somebody I don't like that because it would be too real.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But it's not real if you're my friend.
Yeah.
It's me just teasing you.
But I mean, when you tease an audience member,
but they're saying, but I like
there's something about them you like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they've paid to see me.
That's why when someone heckles and they're an asshole, it gets too real when I shit on them. It escalates very fast.
I try to not get angry because I could probably walk the rest of the crowd and have that person stay there.
Exactly.
Right? Because your crowds, I think, are much like mine. They're there to have fun and escape.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not there to have somebody talk down to them. They're not there to shit on other people.
Right.
They're there to have fun. They're there to escape.
Now, are you sure when you say you get these standing ovations that they're not walking out on you?
Well, they come halfway through the show, right?
Yeah. That's a standing ovation. It's a walking ovation. Ian Bagg will be coming to see you live in Richmond, Virginia, Brea, California, Salt Lake City, Denver, Orlando, Vegas, Nashville, Madison, Wisconsin, Lexington, Kansas City, Omaha. If you go to ianbagg.com with 2 G's at the end.
Sign up, too.
Sign up for the newsletter because he's got this new service, what's it called?
A Punch Up.
Punch Up.
And you're going to do it, too.
I'm going to do it, too. Punch Up. And check out his podcast, which is called
Enjoying Orange Slices.
Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian. And just check out all, obviously, we've talked about it. He's got a lot of stuff online. Check it out. Ian, you're the best,
See you in a year,
man.
buddy.
See you in a year.